You can't buy yogurt like this in the supermarket, that's for sure. This yogurt is fresh, creamy, and delicious. There are no fillers or stabilizers or anything I can't pronounce, just fresh milk and probiotic bacteria. All you need to do to get delicious yogurt is to mix warmed milk with live cultures, let it incubate for several hours, and you've got yogurt. This also costs much less than if you buy it in the supermarket. No, you don't need a yogurt maker to make yogurt, but it makes things easier, and I like the portion-sized glass cups that the yogurt maker comes with. This yogurt maker is made in Austria by the Mueller company. They make a lot of high-quality kitchen products, and it costs around $29. It comes with 8 6-ounce glasses and BPA-free lids, and no, this video is not sponsored. So how do you make yogurt in a yogurt machine? Well, it's the same whether you use a machine, an Instapot, a slow cooker, or even the oven. First you need milk. Whole milk, in my opinion, is the best to use. That's milk with about 3.25% fat content. The higher fat content will produce a yogurt with more body and creaminess. The lower the fat content, the more runny the yogurt will be. Yes, you can make yogurt from milk with a lower fat content. You can even make yogurt with soy milk, but it will take longer to incubate, so you'll need to experiment. Here, the milk I'm using is homogenized and pasteurized. The only other ingredient you need is live cultures to add to the milk. There are many ways to get this starter culture. You can buy it in powdered form. You can buy yogurt with live cultures from the supermarket, or you can use your previous batch of yogurt to inoculate the next batch. But if you're just starting out making your first batch, buying a small cup of yogurt from the supermarket is the simplest way. Make sure it has live cultures in it and that it's plain yogurt. Don't buy flavored yogurt for your starter culture. Here's the yogurt I'm using, and you can see on the back it says live active cultures. This is low-fat plain yogurt. That's fine. The milk already has plenty of fat. The ratio of milk to yogurt culture should be 95% milk and 5% yogurt culture. For 46 ounces of milk, you should add 2.4 ounces of yogurt. According to the instructions that came with my yogurt maker, if you're using raw milk or milk that's been refrigerated for a few days, then the best results will be obtained by boiling the milk for a few minutes and then letting it cool down a bit. I've experimented with this by making yogurt without boiling the milk, and then I've tried boiling the milk, but I found I get the best results by heating my milk to just under the boiling point, and it's less messy since I have a tendency to boil milk over the pot or even burn the pot. So I don't go there anymore, and the yogurt comes out just fine as long as you get close to the boiling point, as I'll show you soon. Okay, let's start making the yogurt. First, measure 46 ounces of milk in a pot. Remember, we'll be adding 2.4 ounces of yogurt, so ultimately we'll have about 48 ounces of liquid, and since there are 8 6-ounce cups, that's 6 times 8 is 48, so that's perfect. And now I want to heat this milk to just under the boiling point, but at least to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, that's around 82 degrees Celsius. If you have a heavy pot to heat the milk in, it's better. Otherwise, you might burn the bottom of the pot. And also keep stirring. That also prevents the bottom from burning. Keep stirring until you see little bubbles forming around the edges. That's the point just before the milk boils. And I found that to be the perfect temperature. Heating the milk helps to kill any bad bacteria that might be in the milk, especially if it's been in the refrigerator for a couple of days. And it seems to produce a richer, thicker yogurt. Once the milk reaches that sweet spot just below boiling, then turn the heat off and wait until the milk cools down to around 100 to 110 degrees. That's 38 to 43 degrees for Celsius, people. Don't worry if your milk does come to a boil. It'll be good, and many people actually recommend boiling the milk. But you might have a mess to clean up if the milk boils over the pot, so it's safer to just heat the milk until you start seeing bubbles forming around the edges, or use a very tall pot. Once the milk has heated up to at least 180 degrees, Turn off the flame and wait until the milk cools down just enough so you can stick your pinky finger in for the count of 10. Or use a thermometer. Either way, the milk should cool down to around 100 degrees. I like the pinky test. It's easy and you don't need a thermometer. The milk shouldn't be so hot that you can't keep your pinky finger in there. If the milk is too hot, then it will kill the live cultures I'm about to add into it. If the milk has formed a skin on it, which it usually does, then try to scoop that out or it can mess with the texture of the yogurt. You'll still get yogurt, but you might have some gritty pieces in your yogurt instead of just creamy goodness. So I scoop out the skin. Now it's time to add the yogurt with the live cultures into the warm milk. But actually, the best way to do this is to first pour a small amount of warm milk into the yogurt, mix that up well, add some more, mix it up well again, and then pour the yogurt milk mixture into the pot of milk and mix that up real well. Again, make sure the yogurt is plain, unflavored, and that it says that it contains live cultures. If the cultures are dead, then the milk will not turn into yogurt. It needs those live cultures to get the process started. Once the yogurt is blended into the warm milk really well, then the mixture is ready to be poured into the cups. Having something with a spout makes it easier to pour into the cups without spilling, although I always drip milk all over the place. And there you have it, all 8 cups filled to the brim. Now it goes into the yogurt maker with the lids on, and then all you have to do is press the button to turn it on. You can see a blue light, that means it's on, and then there's nothing else to set. Now the yogurt will incubate in here for 7 or 8 hours. Some people keep it even longer. The longer you keep it incubating, the thicker and more tangy the yogurt will be, so you might need to experiment with that. I usually leave the yogurt incubating for around 8 hours, and it comes out perfect for my taste, creamy and delicious. Speaking of experiments, I decided to do a batch with some jam at the bottom of the cup. Here I poured just the warm milk and yogurt mixture into most of the cups, but as an experiment, I put orange marmalade at the bottom of one cup and strawberry jam at the bottom of the other cup, just to see what happens. I left this batch incubating for 10 hours, and here they are. This jar I left plain. You can see how thick and solid the yogurt is. And then this jar is the one with strawberry jam at the bottom. There's a little bit of water on the top, but then the rest is very solid, and I can tell you it was delicious. Here's the one with the orange marmalade. It also has a small bit of water on top, but the rest is quite solid and also delicious. So don't be afraid to add some jellies or jams to the bottom of the yogurt cup. It came out just fine and it looks really pretty. Or you can just spoon the jam on top afterwards, or try fresh fruit. Just spoon whatever you want on top and enjoy. One more experiment. I decided to see what would happen if I didn't heat up the milk. It really is a pain to do that. So is it necessary? For this experiment, I set aside 2 cups and one I filled with milk that I didn't heat up. I did, of course, inoculate it with yogurt that had live cultures, but I didn't heat the milk for this cup, and for the other cup I did. And after 10 hours, yes, I gave these more time than I usually give the yogurt. Here they are. This one looks a bit runny, but I'm going to refrigerate it overnight and we'll have a look in the morning. Okay, it's the next day, and here we have the 2 yogurt cups. This one, I did not heat up the milk. This one, I did heat up the milk to just under the boiling point. Okay, let's take a look at the cup where I didn't heat up the milk, and you can see it's watery, and even after I pour off the water on top, the yogurt itself is quite loose. This one, on the other hand, has just a bit of water on top, but you can see the yogurt is quite solid. Here you can see again, runny and solid. So it looks like heating up the milk is an important step in the process, unfortunately, since it's the most time-consuming part. And speaking of consuming, I ended up eating both And although the consistency was different, they were both delicious, especially with some orange marmalade mixed in. Bon appetit, everyone, and thanks for watching.